Hello, hi, I'm Monica, and today we are going to talk about the present perfect, and we are going to concentrate on the present perfect simple and the continuous. In the previous lesson, in the previous video, we explained the present perfect simple, and in this lesson, we are going to concentrate on the present perfect continuous. Right, so I want to show you first of all some examples so that you can see how the present perfect continuous is formed with some pictures. Here is the first one. This is at the doctor's office, as you can see, and the man asks the woman, "Have you been waiting here long?" So, well, if you look at the woman, you can imagine that she has been there forever, right, from the cave times, okay? So here, the present perfect continuous is "have you been waiting?" Okay? And we will explain in a few minutes how it's formed. Another example, it's a romantic example. There is a woman, and she says, "I hope my love comes soon. I have been waiting for ages." She's still waiting there on the bench. She has a lot of patience. And you can see another example of the present perfect continuous. I have been waiting. Okay, this is how it's formed. Poor woman. And then another example. This is a little bit spicy example. A little bit of a sexual example, just to wake you up. There is a man and a woman on a desert island. And the man from the boat says, "I can't believe you've been stranded here for 30 years. What have you been doing all this time?" And if you look at the man's back, you can see the lady's arms and legs all around him. So they've been having a good time, I think. So again, another example of the present perfect continuous. What have you been doing all this time? All right. So now, how do we form the present perfect continuous? Okay, what is the formation? So here you have the formation, all right? Is have or has, depending if it's the third person or not. And then been, okay? Been doesn't change, it's always been. And finally is the verb ending in ing, okay? One example would be this one. You can see this man is very tired, so you can say he has been working hard, okay? So you have has, then been, and then the verb work ending in ing. Okay, so the main question is, okay, now I know what is the formation, how to form it, but the key question is when. When do we use the present perfect continuous? In different situations, okay, it depends on the context. The first one that we're going to see is for something that happened or started in the past, but still continues now, okay? Something in progress that started in the past and then is still in progress now. For example, they've been dancing for hours. Okay, if you look at the fantastic dancer Belén Esteban and the partner, you can say they have been dancing for hours. So it means that they started dancing maybe, just say 2 hours ago, and they are still dancing now because you are watching them on the television. Okay, so again, you can say something that started in the past and continues now. Okay, they started 2 hours ago and they are still dancing. All right. Also, you can have something that started in the past, okay, but now it has recently finished. Okay, it has just finished. If you look at this picture, you can say he's been cycling for too long. So what it means is that this man started cycling maybe 3 hours ago, okay, and now you can see because of the picture that he has recently stopped, that he has just stopped, okay, because it was too long, he was too tired. Okay, so something that started in the past, I repeat, but then has just finished, all right? And then another situation is for an action that has happened in repeated times, just say every year, okay? Started in the past and continues now. Let's see an example. You can say she's been playing the piano since she was 4. Okay, if you look at the baby there, she started when she was 4 and she still plays the piano now. But of course, she has stopped playing in all this time, obviously. So what we mean is that she has been repeatedly playing the piano. What we mean is every year, for example. She has been playing the piano for years. If you can see the other examples, and if you think in Spanish, we would say, pues, better this one, that is clear. Han estado bailando durante horas, ¿no? But also we can say llevan, ¿no? The verb llevar, ¿no? So, llevan bailando muchas horas, ¿no? O ha estado montando en bici demasiado tiempo. And in this one, the same. You can translate it with llevar, ¿no? Lleva tocando el piano desde que tenía 4 años, ¿no? Typical examples, pues llevo viviendo en Marbella desde el año 2000, o llevo casada muchos años, etc. So the structure can be translated with ha estado haciendo no sé qué cosa, o lleva no sé qué tiempo haciendo cosa. Okay, that is the translation in Spanish. So now the question is, what is the difference between the present perfect simple and the continuous? Okay, let's see some examples. If you look at the picture on the left, you can say he has repaired the car. Okay, you can see the mechanic, he's looking happy, and the car is fixed. So you can say he has repaired the car. Now on the right, you have an example with the present perfect continuous, and you can say he has been repairing the car. Now, although they are very, very similar, the emphasis is different. If you say he has repaired the car, the emphasis, okay, the important part is the result, okay? The result is that the car is finished. It's completely repaired, okay? There is a result, and it's absolutely finished, okay? If you say he has been repairing the car, the most important thing is not the result, but the activity, okay? He hasn't been drinking vodka, or he hasn't been watching television. He has been repairing the car, okay? That's what is important for you. However, is it finished, this activity, or not? Has he finished repairing the car? When we say he has been repairing the car, we don't know, because the context doesn't tell us, okay? Ha estado arreglando el coche. It depends on the second part of the phrase to know if he has finished or not. You can say he has been repairing the car, but it was too difficult and he needs to continue tomorrow, so he didn't finish. Or you can say he has been repairing the car and now it's finished, okay? And then we know that it's finished. But when we see the present perfect continuous, sometimes we don't know if the action is complete or not. But on the other hand, the present perfect simple is always finished, okay? He has repaired the car, okay? He has booked a table. He has finished his homework. It's something with a result, okay? That is the main difference between the simple and the continuous, okay? Now, when we use the present perfect continuous, we normally use action verbs, okay? Action verbs means verbs with movement, okay, that have a beginning and an ending. For example, dance, for example, cycle, or for example, play, like the examples we saw before. So we prefer to say they have been dancing, he has been cycling, or she has been playing, instead of they have danced, or he has cycled, or she has played. It's more natural and more common to use the continuous in this case, because of the verbs that are action verbs, all right? So let's compare these two pictures. Let's start on the right now. Let's look at Homer Simpson, okay, on the sofa, and you can say he has been drinking all day, okay? The verb to drink is an action verb, okay? It's a verb with some movement, okay? So we say he has been drinking all day. We don't say he has drunk all day, because for us the important thing is the activity. He has been drinking all day, because drink is an action verb, we use the continuous. Now, if you look at the romantic photo on the left, you can say, oh, I have known her for ages. For ages means for a long time. So the verb know, it's not an action verb, okay? There is no movement with know. Know is simply on your head, on your mind, is a state. So that's why we prefer the simple. We say, I have known her for ages, and we don't say, I have been knowing her for ages, okay? It's because of the verb to know. It's a a non-action verb. Verbs like meet, like know, like be, okay, like understand, we prefer to use the simple, okay? Now, more differences between the simple and the continuous. We prefer the simple. For example, when we say how much or how many things we do. For example, you can say, I have ironed 29 shirts, okay? I have been ironing the whole morning, and now the result is that I have ironed 29 shirts. We prefer to use the simple because you are saying how many shirts you have ironed, okay? Now, with the continuous, you are talking about how long you are doing something. You can say, I have been ironing since 9 o'clock. Okay, because you're saying how long you have been ironing, we prefer the continuous. And you say, I have been ironing since 9 o'clock. Okay, so again, remember before we said with the present perfect simple, the important thing is the result, something that is finished. Of course, if you say, I have ironed 29 shirts, it means that you finished ironing. So it's more logical to use the simple. I have ironed 29 shirts. The same thing you can say, for example, if you are a writer, you can say, I have written 5 novels and 1 poem. And you are saying how many novels or how many books have you written, okay? Now, if you're saying for how long you have been writing, you can say, I have been writing since I was 10 years old, okay? Because you're saying for how long, then we prefer the continuous, all right? So, a lot of information, I know. So, a little summary to compare the two tenses, okay? Remember, with the simple, the emphasis is on the result, and the continuous, the emphasis on the activity, okay? The simple is normally with stative verbs. Remember, the stative means non-action verbs, and the continuous is with action verbs, with dynamic verbs, okay? And if you're talking about how much or how many of something, we prefer the simple. And if you are talking about how long an action happens, then we prefer the continuous. Okay, so this is a little summary to remember the information. Now, two very important words when we use the present perfect. Always for and since. We use it a lot with the present perfect. With both the simple and the continuous. Present perfect simple and present perfect continuous, they use both for and since. Now, we are talking about, or we are using for and since to say for how long you are doing something. If you say for, you are talking about the duration of an action, and if you're speaking about since, you are talking about the specific time an action started. Okay, let's see some examples. You can say she's been a teacher for 10 years, or she's been teaching since, what does it say? Does it say, I don't know, 1004? I meant 2004, sorry. So the duration, okay, is 10 years. That's why we say for 10 years, right? And then the specific point of time, okay, exactly when she started is 2004. That's why we say since. Okay, so let's remember, for is to talk about duration, all right? We can say, I have known her for duration, 3 years, 2 weeks, 2 days, decades, okay? That is the period, the duration of the time that I am speaking of. And since is if you mention a specific time in the past. For example, you can say, I have known her since last summer, okay? Or since May, or since 2002, or since Monday. There are specific times in the past. It's not a duration, okay, but the specific time. So a little summary again. Remember that normally it's very common to use the present perfect simple with non-action verbs and the present perfect continuous with action verbs. We said this before. But we have two verbs. Well, we have a little bit more verbs, but let's say for today, two verbs that can use the present perfect simple or the continuous, and it's okay. There is not really a big difference, okay? These two verbs are live and work, okay? It doesn't matter, it's not important if you use the simple or the continuous, because they can be used with both. For example, you can say, I have lived in Marbella since 1992, or I have been living in Marbella since 1992. Okay, both are correct. Okay, there is no problem with the two. Okay, the two are fine because you have the verb live. All right, or you can say I have worked in this office for 3 years, or I have been working in this office for 3 years. The same, there is no difference, and it's the same because live and work are very flexible. Okay, so they are fantastic verbs. Okay, no problem for us. Now let's practice. I want to show you 6 examples, 6 phrases. I want you to look at them, stop the video and think about the right answers, and then I will show you the answers to see if you were right. Okay, you can stop the video now. All right, so now you should know the answers. Let's have a look and see which ones are correct. The first one, we have known each other since we were children. Okay, in this case, the verb is know. Remember that know is not an action verb, so we prefer the simple. I have known each other. We have known each other, sorry. And we were children, that is a specific time in the past. It's not a duration, but a specific time. So we can say since we were children. The translation in Spanish for since is desde. Desde que éramos niños, no durante. For es durante, and since is desde. Okay. Number 2, the children have been playing computer games for 2 hours. All right. Because you have the verb play, and play is an action verb, we prefer the continuous. You can say they have been playing. And then we say the duration 2 hours, so we say for 2 hours. Durante 2 horas. Number 3, I have loved her since the first day we met. Now the verb love, it's a non-action verb, so we prefer the simple. I have loved her. Desde el día que nos conocimos, we prefer to say since the first day we met. It's a specific time, the time we met, or the day we met. Number 4, has your sister had that hairstyle for a long time? Okay, the verb is to have, and to have is not an action verb, so we prefer the simple. Has your sister had? Okay, and then the duration is for a long time. Then number 5, it has been snowing since 5 o'clock. To snow, it's an action verb because there's some movement, so we prefer to use the continuous. And 5 o'clock is a specific time in the past, so we prefer to use since. Okay, and then I have been a teacher since last September. To be is a state verb or a non-action verb, so we prefer the simple. I have been. And finally, last September is a specific time, so we use since last September. Okay, here you have the present simple and the present continuous. I hope you are a bit more, it's more clear for you the difference between the two. Remember that you can check our class blog and you can ask in class any questions that you have. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.